I am making some chicken tenders, and I'm gonna do pecan crusted chicken tenders, and also I'm gonna do some cornflake crusted chicken tenders, and I'm gonna bake it all right in the oven. What I've got going on already is an assembly line. I've lined up my bowls. I'm getting ready to dredge that chicken in these bowls, and if you want to come a little closer, you can see what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm gonna do is grab the olive oil, and I've got a huge baking dish here. I think this is a little bigger than a 9 by 13. And make sure you coat this really well. Let's do 1½ cup of flour. And I'm gonna add some Tony Chachere's no salt Cajun seasoning. Maybe a 1/2 teaspoon. And then some seasoned salt. Just a 1/2 teaspoon of each. Then I'm gonna mix this up. And you want this to be pink, and it's not pink, so I'm going to add another 1/2 teaspoon of Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning. And maybe another 1/2 teaspoon of seasoned salt. Maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just guessing. Go ahead and mix this up. And now it's looking pink. 3 eggs in this bowl. And I've got some maple syrup. And we're just gonna add maybe 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. And I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of milk, a little salt and pepper, not a lot of salt because we've already got the seasoned salt in here. Going to do the cornflakes. We're gonna put those in this bowl. I've got a cup of cornflakes that I'm gonna put in my Ninja. Now we're just gonna coat the chicken in the flour first, and then in the egg. And now we're gonna dredge it in those cornflakes. We're gonna keep our same flour, the same egg, but I'm gonna do pecans this time. I've got a cup of pecans. Honestly, that was so easy. The worst part of it is cleaning up. So I've got everything cleaned up, and I like to clean as you go. But now we have got our oven preheated on 350 degrees, and I just saw my first fly, y'all. Time to make those fly traps. But I've got my oven preheating to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna take, while that's heating up, I've melted 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm just going to baste these with that butter right on top. Because you know butter makes everything better, y'all. And you are gonna want just a little oil on top of these because you don't want them to be all dry. But it's still much healthier than frying them. Okay, just like that. And once this hits 350 degrees, I'm gonna put it in the oven and I'm gonna let these bake for probably about 45 minutes, but I'll let you know on that. Okay. It's actually been about 50 minutes and let's check on this. Oh, yes, it looks great. Yum. Doesn't that look amazing? Oh, it smells so good. And that's how easy this is to make. And the reason I use my baking dish is because when you do it in a sheet pan, it sticks, it's just a mess. And this is so much easier to clean up and it usually doesn't stick at all. So there's a tip for you. And I just did a little stir fry with some garlic and zucchini and squash. I stir fried that in some butter and got it on the side, and that's what we're having for supper tonight.